keeping the beat here.
Yeah, good job.
All right, Morning Brew rolls on. It's poetry time.
Yes, sir.
Amber?
We have so many talented people in Albuquerque. It's incredible.
That's right. The stage it doesn't belong to us. It belongs to the talent that comes here. And Carlos has been here many times. It's like one of the family.
Thank you.
Yeah, well, you are.
Right on.
You are.
I'm happy to be here again. So.
Carlos Contreras is with us today. Poetry guy. He's with Tractor Brewery.
Yes, sir.
What else do you do?
A whole bunch of things. But yeah, I guess today I'm here representing Tractor and what they call ABQ Slams, so the poetry community in Albuquerque.
Good. All right, so Tractor has decided that they have a pretty good venue for this poetry event and put the two together. Yeah,
Tractor, I think we've talked about it a couple of times, but Tractor's so arts and theater and community oriented. I mean, I really stand behind the brand of Tractor for those reasons. And we've always been a fan of poetry. I'm a poet by trade, and so also an employee of Tractor, and so it was just a quick and easy marriage for the two. It's something we've really enjoyed. We've had a couple of events so far, and our biggest one yet is coming up. So.
This will be on Saturday, the 27th?
Yes, ma'am. Saturday, September 27th, 6 to 9. It's completely free, which last year it wasn't. So, and if you're under 21, you just have to come with a parent or guardian. But if you're under 21, you can do that.
Okay, good.
And how many poets will be presenting?
Right now, they're figuring out. So it's interesting. Poetry in this city runs kind of like NASCAR. So it's on a point system, and they have 10-ish poets, but there's some ties. So you might see up to a dozen poets on the 27th competing for one spot.
Wow. Competitive poetry here.
Yeah, who would have ever thought, right?
No kidding.
What's a poetry slam like for those who've never been to one?
Poetry slam to me is the most accessible form of poetry. So, and it's cool because everybody likes to see somebody win and lose, right? And that's kind of why it was created. In the 80s, there was a construction worker named Mark Smith who actually wrote poetry and couldn't figure out how to get his construction worker buddies to listen to poetry. So he created a game out of it. He handed scorecards to the crowd. There was a winner and a loser involved at that point, and the rest is history. 30 years later, it's still going. It's grown like a weed. So
that's neat. So the audience keeps score.
Yeah. So I get up as a poet competing, read a poem. It has to be under 3 minutes and 9 seconds long. Has to be my poem. No musical accompaniment, no props, no costumes. I finish. There's 5 judges in the crowd. They score my poem between 0 and 10 with a decimal point. You drop the high and low like the Olympics. Add the middle 3, and that's the composite score for the round. So.
Carlos, I'd love to hear one of your poems.
Sure. Let's do that. I'm going to stand up, though, because I feel weird if I don't. Okay, here we go. I strive for perfection. It was born into me, branded, expected to be a better version of self with the setting of each sun. Each sun, a different rendition of the same song. My melody, discordant though it may be, sings. Because I'd do anything to be able to. But instead, I write. And these instances are never the final draft. Edit in progress. I'm a practitioner of process. Poetry blent into the frame of this ink scrawl must have something, sometimes finding nothings at the ends of me. New beginnings offered to each day with the rising of the sun. And I don't mind the sweat, grind, hustle, humble, respectful, respectable. I respect boundaries even when ignoring or breaking them. Aware that they are there, I often push beyond the comfortable to find the memorable. Remember me for being the weird kid, loud one, squeaky wheel, loose screw, not a short, but never a minute too late. In fact, sometimes too soon for what's about to come. Coming out of my shell, I figured out these wings need no cocoon. Monarch mounting metaphor, I'm still flying. I write. Like, that's all there is to life, because sometimes it is. But I'm finding space to be comfortable with that I cannot control, which can commonly be deduced to my own thoughts, emotions, and fingertips, mouth, feet, and lips. I'm a mess. Mass mayhem with ink and a story to tell. Remember me for being confusing, confident, coincidentally always there when you need me, but confused as to what I should be doing. Things are getting done by means and matters of importance. I will remember myself not as important, but better yet, insignificantly different than all of you. Because we make better moments when making music with our conversations. You see, life is a foreign language, and our inactions are simply the translations. I am fork-tongued, never forgotten I hum, sick of the sound of my own voice. If only I could sing, I'd Billie Holiday my way away from here. Coltrane, catch the next one out of town, onto something not so blue, less gray, all needle and no fix. I'd scratch whatever's beneath the surface and remix, mix my mouth back into something that made sense. If only I could sing.
Yeah. Carlos.
You have a gift.
Oh, thank you.
What were you like in school?
The loud one, you know, the one that never shut up, and so now I do it for a living.
But have you thought about putting music at track?
We do some stuff with music. I work with a lot of musicians, and then you know, at Tractor there's a plethora of musicians and arts. So it's kind of like this world that's always mixing, and new opportunities are always arising. So we'll see what happens.
How do you feel after you perform?
I tell people it's like extreme sports for poor people. Me being one of those people, you know, if you've ever bungee jumped, that costs a lot of money. If you ever skydived, costs a lot of money.
Well, this is your thrill.
Poetry Slam is completely
adrenaline
free.
rush.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Great stuff. September 27th.
27th.
Out at Tractor.
6 to 9. It's free. 4th Street, 1800 4th Street. So we have 2 locations. It's at Tractor Wells Park.
Nice. You're always fun to have on this show.
Well, thank you.
Thanks,
And Carlos has a poetry book. What is the name of it?
It's called Time Served. Yeah.
And it is a
It's good.
powerful piece. We've really enjoyed it.
Thank you. Go out and get that, and come join us. I'll host that show, but there's 12 poets. 12 poets.
All right.
Wow.
Well,
Incredible.
there you go.
Tractor beer.
There you go.
I'm going to leave these, by the way. So
Oh,
I'm not
thank you.
responsible for what happens today.
It's
There might
the
be
morning
another
brew.
poem in that.
In this case, beer. We'll be back.